Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, August 3rd, and this is the news we covered over the past week at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Again, I keep moving around positions. Now I'm trying against this wall, so maybe the lighting looks a little bit better, and hoping the echo is a little bit less. Let's get started. One cool thing this week was that SEO Moz came out with a new software product or free solution called Mozcast. It's basically them looking at the ranking fluctuations in their index. I think they track about 1,000 keywords over a number of websites to see how much ranking changes there were with those websites over the past day. And based on the fluctuations using different deltas and stuff like that, it will go ahead and give a forecast telling you, do they think algorithmically if there was some type of update in Google. Obviously, this is something that I do on a manual basis where I track the forums daily, see the number of complaints, see what people are complaining about, and if there's a certain number of complaints, the way I would expect those complaints to be, then I would possibly say there's a Google update going on. And sometimes I'll be wrong, sometimes I'll be right, sometimes I'll miss it. So Mozcast is aimed at trying to automate that process somewhat. They updated about 11:30 Eastern time every morning. For the following day. So today's Friday. It would update today around 11:30, telling you if there was an update yesterday on Thursday. So I'm a little bit ahead because I'm tracking the forums pretty much in real time and people are complaining in real time. But it's a very, very cool report. It's definitely something that I've been using even before it was live, just to see. We're pretty much testing each other to see if I'm right or they're right or whoever, and if we match, it's great. And then if Google even confirms that's even better. Anyway, check it out, mozcast.com. Speaking of that, there were a bunch of UK SEOs and now US SEOs saying that there was a possible Penguin refresh. People are eagerly waiting for a Penguin refresh. It's been a pretty long time since we had a Penguin refresh. I think the last Penguin refresh we had was on May 25th, which is a pretty long time ago, relative to doing Panda refreshes every 6 weeks or so. Anyway, there's a lot of comments about this at Webmaster World. Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. Google has not announced anything, so I assume it has not happened. Like I said, SEOs are eagerly awaiting a Penguin refresh. It's been it's been over 10 weeks now since we had a refresh on the Penguin side. People are still stuck in this Penguin cycle, and they're hoping that they cleaned up their link profile since the last Penguin refresh, which was on May 25th or May 24th or so. And again, April 24th was when Penguin was released. Or maybe people are suggesting that maybe Google's waiting to release the disavow link tool. We're not really sure why we're waiting so long, but hopefully Google will announce something, and hopefully a tool to actually help with this situation. On the Webmaster Tools side, Google released something called a structured dashboard, a structured data dashboard, which basically looks at your rich snippets and your other structured data sets, all the meta information that you have on your site, specifically around rich snippets and H cards and all those other things that you might have on your site, and it will actually show you on the site level, on the item level, and on the page level what type of markup you have on those pages. So it's pretty cool to see, and it works pretty well. It's really one of those things that data junkies would like to see. Google Matt Cutts explained all the stuff going on with these link notifications. Remember last week we reported that there was link notifications. We said that Google said pretty much they're ignored links, don't have to worry about them too much. So Matt Cutts went ahead and explained specifically what these untrusted link notifications are, and Google says you shouldn't ignore them. It's basically a warning saying, hey, people are linking to you in a bad fashion, and these links are not helping your site. Maybe get rid of them, but they're not necessarily hurting your site. Speaking about those link notifications, SEO Moz was one of these sites that actually got one of those link notifications. They got one of those things saying Google Master Tools detected unnatural links pointing to your website. This dates back to probably where there was this big negative SEO debate, and Rand Fishkin of SEO Moz went ahead and said, hey, I don't believe in negative SEO. I don't think it will hurt my website. Go ahead and use SEO Moz as a test bed for you to try to hurt me with your negative SEO. Nothing happened for a while, but then when Google released these unnatural link notifications, they got a notification that same day as everybody else. The question is it really something that hurt SEO Moz? Their rankings hasn't changed, have not changed. Their traffic is the same, and they pretty much got the same batch where Google pretty much said those links are not hurting you. Google's ignoring them, so I wouldn't worry too much. So I'm not sure if the negative SEOs had a point, or if if anything happened of that, but it's definitely something that should be on people's radars. Google talked about, not Google, but we pretty much have an interesting conversation, which we have every year or so, about exact match domain names or not. Go with a branded domain name or exact match domain name. So if you're an SEO company, do you go for SEO.com, or do you go for, I don't know, like Razorfish or something like that, that's very branded? And it really depends on if you can get the exact match domain name or not. Depends on how your branding strategies are, and it's always a depends answer. But if you want to join that discussion, it's pretty detailed. July 31st at seroundtable.com. Bing announced a new feature to their social bar where you can now tag friends within your Facebook friends within the social bar. So if you don't know an answer to a question and you know a friend that might, you can actually tag them. They'll get the notification in their thing in Facebook, and they'll be able to reply to you directly from Bing. I might find that annoying, but it's definitely in there. Majestic SEO launched a tool this week, which basically looks at the competitive nature of a keyword phrase based off the linkage data around it, the anchors and the title, the entitles on that. It's a pretty cool tool if you're looking to see how competitive a keyword is. It's not rocket science, but they definitely have the data to make it possible, and they hope to add more features in the future to tell you which sites are actually getting the most amount of links for certain types of anchor text. Google released a toolbar PageRank update this week. It was on August 1st, August 2nd. Lots of people are talking about it. We have a huge, tons of comments on my post. Whenever I do a PageRank update post, people comment. The cool thing is it's not as much as the previous times. Google does this about every 3 months. So it's pretty cool to see that there's not as much discussion as you would have seen typically in the past years or so. Finally, actually 2 more things. Google is touting their Olympic results. So if you Google search for Olympics or certain types of Olympic games or sports, Google will actually show you a nice knowledge graph on the right-hand side. So definitely take a look at that. Danny Sullivan compared that to Yahoo and Bing, and I think Danny Sullivan gave Yahoo the gold, Google the silver, and Bing the bronze. Finally, this morning, I posted the August Google Webmaster report where we discussed the latest changes over the past month at Google. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can definitely take a look at it on August 2nd at seroundtable.com. Basically, PageRank talking and stuff like that. But there was a refresh this morning there's a refresh this month on Google Panda 3.9. Korea and Japan Japanese languages get the Google Panda up and algorithm as well. We had a PageRank update, the whole link notification thing that we discussed over the past weeks. Tons of SEO advice from Google I posted in here, and finally all the changes to Google Webmaster tools. In any event, that is the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. Today again is August 3rd, and this is the news we covered over at seroundtable.com at the Search Engine Roundtable. Everyone have a great weekend, and see you guys next. Bye.